In this video, we're going to set up and create the drawing for the cow catcher. We're going to start off by creating a new sheet, and within the settings here, I'm going to go ahead and create a base view. I'm going to increase the scale size up to a 2:1, and I'm going to go ahead and place the front view of the train on the drawing as such. From the listing of the parts, I will need to find the cow catcher in the listing. Here we are, and right click and choose suppress all except selected, and I'm going to go ahead and collapse this menu. Placing the front view of the cow catcher here, I'm going to go ahead and start projecting some views. So I'm going to choose a projected view, project above to get a top view, and project a right side view approximately in the middle of the page, and I'm going to go ahead and place an isometric view and create and continue. Double left click on the isometric view to shade it, and from here I'm going to choose projected view again in order to get the back side and go over to the right side, the back side of the train cow catcher, so then that way we can show the peg details. From here we're going to look at a few other views that we need to properly annotate our cow catcher design. One will be an auxiliary view, the other one will be a section view, and the other will be a detail view. So our cow catcher has quite a bit of detailing and shows all three of the special types of views that we've covered previously in the class. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to, first off, section view. We're actually going to use the section view option to create an auxiliary view. So I'm going to select the top view. I'm going to move down here to the point, and I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to click, but I'm going to move downward following at the angle of which the cow catcher is running. So then I'm going to go ahead, and when I'm out past, and I'm going to be pretty generous with this because I want to get the entire cow catcher within our view, I'm going to click, then I'm going to run. Again, I'm going to just touch that green box, which is up here on the corner of the cow catcher, and I'm not clicking, and I'm just going to drag out away from it, keeping it in line. Clicking, and now hitting the green check mark. From here, now I'm going to be able to get the auxiliary view for our cow catcher. So I'm going to go ahead and place it down below here, and I'm going to say OK. What I can do is I can select the section, the cutting plane line, and actually there's a gray bar right here in the center that I can grab, and making sure that I stay aligned, I can go through and move that downward. From here, I can go ahead and move this label down below, double click on the label, and we will just call this, instead of section, I'm going to go ahead and take out the word section, we'll just call it view EE. And so this will go through and show our view there. So if you need to move this further away, if you need to go through and make any changes, this can, to give you room for dimensioning, that's how you can go through and do so. So now we can do some things like when we dimension, setting up what our dimension value would be. Keep in mind this is 0.097 on our drawings. We have 0.1. This can be changed in the document settings. So 1 is we need to display the trailing zeros. But if we just need to change one single dimension, double left clicking and changing that precision down to 2 decimal places, as well as adding in the note that we need, we can do so. So that's how that can be dimensioned. Our next view will be the section view, so the true section view that we have running through our part. We're going to stay off of the top view as well. Before we do this though, this is a kind of an interesting part, and I'm going to use create sketch, and I'm going to create a line, and I'm going to find on this point right here on the angled surface, you'll see a little green triangle show up icon, which will be noted as the midpoint of that top edge. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually find that same point right here, and you can see where you can find those. But off this top line, off of this top edge right here, clicking, and you're going to notice there's an angle associated as I move my mouse either up either to the up and to the right or down and to the left. And what I'm looking for is I'm going to zoom out, and I'm kind of looking for the 50-degree mark, which is going to be right about there. So depending on how far you draw out, I notice when you get a little closer, it gets a little bit more precise. I'm going to go ahead and here's 50. I'm going to click. I'm going to right click and say OK. And if I need, I can always kind of go through and adjust that out. But I'm going to go ahead and leave that line there and say finish sketch. So that way I know I'm at the 50-degree mark. And here's why. This is going to help us set up the alignment for our cutting plane line. This is going to be a little bit of a different cutting plane line than what we've done before. So I'm going to go ahead and choose section view, choosing the front view. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go down until I touch that same midpoint. I'm going to go up. I'm going to click, and then I'm going to click on that midpoint. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to use this point, much like I did. I'm not clicking, but I'm going to extend this out when I get that green dashed line to help me stay aligned. Clicking, hit the green check mark. Now I can go through over here to the right to align, and now I can set up my section view. And if I need, moving the there we go, the section note as needed. And again, some of these dimensions or anything may need to be kind of moved around, or we may need to provide a little bit more room on our drawings. Okay, one of the dimensions that will be a little bit more difficult to pick up will be this 0.05 TYP, which is how far the front edge is cut in. So I'm going to go ahead and use the dimension tool. The point you're looking for is, if you hover over this line, it's going to be the end point of this line right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this edge. And I'm going to go ahead and drag this out, or you can leave it right here as well. Same kind of scenario as what we had before. I can go ahead and double left click on the dimension, change the level of precision to 2 decimal places, and add our note there. And now we're going to see that be shown here on the drawing, as well as being able to get the size of the shell that we need. Again, double left clicking on there and being able to change that to 2 decimal places, and adding our text note. So there are a few of those different options. Of course, you can always change some of the positioning of the dimensions to kind of help out with placement and making clear and consistent communication for your drawings. So right now, these views, we would just have to go through and look at dimensioning a few of the details that you would be shown. One of the last details that we're going to be shown is going to be a peg. So I'm going to go ahead and select the detail view. I'm going to scroll down here to zoom into our right side view. I'm going to select this as the parent view, and I'm going to go ahead and click right about in the center of the peg and draw, which what I would have to be would be a peg for our detail view that we have set up here. So I'm going to go ahead and have it look roughly about like this. The detail view we can kind of place right up above right here, say OK. So, and we can always move the label a little closer. And here is where you can dimension that, as well as provide any text notes or anything that you may have. Again, remember, don't forget about center marks on all circular features, and everything else should be ready for you to go to properly dimension and provide all the information on the cow catcher.